feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood in my tongue.
On Smite Draft League. My name is Zexagon, and I'm being joined today by my co-caster.
Yep, that is me, the co-caster. I'm Kingfisher, and good to be coming at you guys now with the kickoff event. We got the Joust tournament, 10 teams in it. We're going to go ahead and be hopping into game 1. Soggy Bread Boys versus the Turtleneck Summer Knights. I love whoever came up with the names.
Yeah, the names are fantastic, and right off the kickoff for game 1, really excited to see what they got going on for us. Obviously, mainly a conquest oriented type of tournament we usually do, but Joust is a new one. Haven't done this one yet, so interested to see what teams are going to prioritize with the change of game mode.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. Joust, not a game mode I keep up with a whole ton, and I imagine not a ton of people in this league do. It is a conquest-focused league, so I think the pick and ban phase especially is really going to interest me, and that's the one I expected Zeus going to be first off the board. I think that's probably the most hated god in really, tiny contested maps.
Zeus is a very staple ban for a lot of competitive Joust scenarios, where he's able to just spread out a whole bunch of damage in such a small map. Really just hard to avoid all the chain lightning damage output that he could do. Another staple ban, seeing the AMC really able to spread damage out just as much, or well, almost as much as Zeus is with the bees, and really able to put out tons of damage. And an early game hunter too is really able to turn the tides for a team early.
Yeah, and although that AMC puts out a lot of damage, I'm a little bit surprised to see it here this early, just because his hives are a really integral part of that kit. And not really a lot of places to hide those hives in this Joust map. There's very, very few side corridors and stuff, so maybe a little bit of an odd ban, but followed up with Atlas and Kabrakan, two really, really tanky guardians that can dish the damage too.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the name of the game, is that you're not going to go for too many peel heavy supports. It's more of the hybrid supports you're looking at that are able to output a ton of damage, like that Kabrakan, where he's just the big AoE tremor that he's able to do is really super disruptive in team fights. So being able to take that off is definitely a very important thing. And then looking towards more ability-based hunters, as Uller is getting taken off the map too. So
Yeah, and I like that Uller ban. That really screams as one that can shine in the Joust environment. Not a lot of places to hide from the Norse Hunter. But are there any other bans, or I think in specific, target bans that you'd like to see? I know here, if I'm the Chaos side team, which is Soggy Bread Boys, I really want to ban out that Ganesha. POSTDRAMA is iconic on that pick, and it's not something I want him to be comfortable with.
yeah, and like Ganesha is just one of those gods that can shine in pretty much any game mode because of how like well designed the character is kit wise, able to put out a ton of damage, but also super good on the peel side as well. And like we
There
were
it is.
talking about, there it is, first lock in going to Ganesh, POSTDRAMA's Ganesh. So
Yeah, not really surprised. And I think comfort is kind of going to be key in this tournament, at least until teams get their footing a bit. It's kind of a less played game mode, one where the meta, at least to me, isn't as well known. Maybe it is to them, though. I don't know how much people play Joust here. But on the other side, I think, do you prioritize something like your tank first, like the Summer Knights have, or do you kind of go towards your ADC, get some damage online, before you kind of pick your tank to adapt?
I definitely think you build from the front and back. So I think what I would do is get a really strong front line. So once again, Sobek is getting locked in, so or being hovered right now. Sobek really good at being able to peel, but also being able to aggress with the pulls, and Achilles being locked in right after that. So that's the front line already locked in, and that chaos side. So
Yeah, I definitely like those picks, especially Sobek into Ganesh should be able to disrupt him a lot. That silence not going to save him from all the CC coming out from the Sobek. And the Achilles too, a really, really high pressure, high damage warrior. And they've already got a good balance of physical and magical, so I think that third pick can really be a mage, assassin, carry, whatever they need it to be. A lot of flexibility, but on this other side, it's the Baron Samedi being hovered. That's not a pick we see a whole lot of.
Yeah, so typically Baron's just solid in Joust because of how much sustain this character brings to the table. The life of the party ultimate also super good at playing defense more so than on the offense. Being able to suck them into those towers, those phoenixes, is really super super valuable for this pick. And rounding it off with a Hercules on the order side too. So a pretty solid front line as well. Although Hercules is one of those picks where it's going to be execution over anything else. If you're not able to find those knockups, you're not going to find tons of value with Hercules, and he's just going to get blown up.
Yeah, and this whole Summer Knights squad, I think, is really built towards sustain. They have a massive Hercules heal. Baron Samedi can kind of throw the health around as well with his Ganesha. They want these long team fights. But on the other side, kind of a similar strategy. Sobek, definitely one that can survive for a long time, and the Hades. Now, lucky for him, I don't think they have a whole ton to punish Gunaholic there when he ultimates. I mean, Baron Samedi just doesn't have any huge damaging abilities, not like a Scylla or Poseidon. They can really hurt with an ultimate. So this Hades is going to have to be smart about where he engages, and he can cause a ton of damage if he's left unchecked.
Definitely, and I think one of the biggest problems for this order side against this Hades is that they don't have a lot of ways to get out of Hades' ultimate. When he starts sucking them in, Herc has a dash, but Baron is pretty much a sitting duck if Hades can ult on top of him.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of ults for ult there, I think, between those two mages. And kind of interesting, no teams go towards an assassin, no teams go towards a hunter. I think a hunter into either one of these comps would really help damage, especially looking at that order side team. The Hercules and Ganesh, I think, are two that you kind of really do want to play hunters into. Even if they are displaced, they put out a massive amount of damage. But right now, all they got is Hades burn, and I don't know if it's going to be enough to really do what they need to do in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we are going to get into a short break really quick before we get in the game, so don't go anywhere. Game number 1 between the Bread Boys and the Summer Knights. We'll be right back.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are loaded into the first game, Turtleneck Summer Knights against the Soggy Bread Boys. As everyone's loaded in, everyone is going to group around this red buff for this first one. I guess the real neutral objective before the Bull Demon will spawn later on. But already a little bit of grouping. Turtleneck Summer Knights are going to be the first ones there, so we'll hold the pressure advantage onto them. But early engage coming off and already putting out tons of damage right now. Pluck going to be coming out by a AGiantDog and is going to find a little bit of damage onto Assassin Mario. However, isn't going to become much of it. I know we were talking about POSTDRAMA playing the Ganesh, but he's actually on the Hercules.
Yeah, and definitely a pick you can still thrive on a lot of CC. Ooh, good Sobek pluck. Oh, and a better silence by Ganesh. And really interesting, Summer Knights not completely dropping the red buff, just got the small side minions, so maybe not feeling completely confident in that one, but I'd like to see them get it if they can get some wave friends back here. Looks like Bread Boys have a better handle on this wave.
Yeah, another pluck coming out onto Assassin Mario. He's going to be pulled back. Not going to have the damage quite to finish him off yet, but he is getting low. Shell is going to be used. Dive coming in from Gunaholic, but isn't going to be able to seal the deal on the kill. And a nice little Baron Samedi heal off of Geo will top up Assassin Mario. Still chilling right now, but a little bit of trouble with POSTDRAMA, but is going to be able to walk back to tower. Nothing too much to worry about for now. And another great heal coming off by Geo, and that's going to keep the Ganesh nice and healthy as Soggy Bread Boys are finally looking at this red buff with the pressure.
Yeah, and just as predicted, they do get the first red buff of the game that you didn't know. You can know exactly who's going to win the game. And I like they put the red buff onto Warcrier here, onto the Achilles. The Hades has to really get himself out of position to get that damage off. Speaking of out of position,
coming up from POSTDRAMA. Almost finds first blood, but isn't going to be enough.
Yeah, it won't be enough this time. Now, Bread Boys, I think, do have an advantage here. I'm surprised that Hades almost didn't go down there, but not enough secure. From the Baron Samedi, I imagine when he gets level 5, that crypt is going to be a death sentence if he gets anybody into that little field. But no, instead the Bread Boy is going to hit level 5 first. Let's see, does Chaos or Order side hit it off this one? Oh, they do. Okay,
Yeah,
so really even in game state.
Yeah, so everyone has their ultimates. This is kind of where the game is going to take a turn for the more interesting now, as they're really going to be able to find a lot more combinations with the ultimates, with the gods that they've kind of selected. And that's where I think we're going to start to see, you know, the first blood come up pretty soon here. I'm really interested to see how the team fights are going to go between both the compositions that both these teams have drafted.
Yeah, and I imagine that's one of the big differences from Conquest. I think every single team fight, first off, it's going to be the entire team, and I think every ultimate is going to have to be used nearly immediately in order to stay alive. You don't have as much peel without a dedicated support. Kind of have to fend for yourself a little bit if it gets separated. So these ultimates, I think, and the timing on them is really going to determine when people fight. Hades missing. If I'm the Summer Knights, I'm looking to get this wave cleared really early, maybe regain a little bit of that pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe they're not entirely sure if they have the correct amount of damage to be able to 100-0 someone right now, but coming around the back is Gunaholic looking for a gang. Is going to find a ton of damage. Is going to get stunned out, though. Driver Pillar's drop goes into the ultimate. Look, and the left of party is going to be pulling under tower. Does manage to pick up a giant dog and is on the run. Goes under the water, gonna try and get himself back on it, but Blink coming in, and one more ought to do it. Geo is gonna steal the deal on first blood. A giant dog is going to be taking a trip back to base.
And sure enough, that's every ultimate off the board. And forget what I was saying in pregame, not having enough damage to kill that Hades. Maybe just not enough lifesteal online yet, but he fell nearly immediately after he got into that. Geo did have to use his ultimate to kind of get out of the pull there, so that's a little bit unfortunate, wasn't able to find more value. 3 ults for 3 ults and 2 kills to the Order side, and they now find themselves 1,000 gold in the lead. How important do you think a small gold lead is in a game like Joust compared to Conquest? Is it more? Is it worse? What's your take on that?
It's going to be pretty significant in a game where the early game pretty much will dictate the rest of the mid and late, as there's not a whole lot of comeback potential in Joust. It's a very snowbally game mode. So if they're really getting ahead early, you're going to want to try and stop the bleeding as fast as you possibly can.
Definitely will, but luckily for the Bread Boys, that's barely even a tier 1 item for each player, so definitely not looking in a bad spot. Now Baron Samedi getting plucked back, and the second fight has already started.
And Dark Pillar's dropped immediately, like the party is going to be coming out, but isn't a little bit, isn't going to be able to pull him under tower, unfortunately, and is in a little bit of trouble. Gets a nice heal off, so that's going to top up Geo, making him safe. Boulder coming out off of POSTDRAMA, going to find a little bit of damage onto Giant Dog, but is just going to be enough to create some space and not so much find any kills. But
yeah, now the Bread Boys looking in an excellent position. They have 2 ultimates compared to none from the Summer Knights, albeit kind of weaker ones. Sobek, maybe not the best teamfight ultimate, but that execute from the Achilles, ooh, probably going to be used on the Baron. Baron dropping low. Oh no, great silence by Ganesha.
One more coming in. Isn't going to find it though. Another tower. He's taking a bunch of shots. Geo is staying alive, but his magic committed a little bit too much. Is going to walk away with just a sliver HP, but very too close for comfort for Warcry. Unfortunately, wasn't able to find that fatal strike, so is going to have to retreat.
And if you're a Bread Boys fan, that's unfortunate to see. Luckily, no harm done, didn't die, so not going to get any further behind. And that's a Stone of Gaia, first item for the Achilles. I really like that one. I mean, there's a knock-up on the Ganesha, on the Hercules. To my knowledge, Baron doesn't knock you up, just pulls you. Oh, no, pull. Okay, yeah, so is going to work against the Baron Samedi, too. Really good addition for the Achilles. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Sobek go that, too.
Definitely, and just looking on the side of Turtleneck as their builds too, they are repping a whole lot of anti-heal right now. With the Pestilence and the Divine. Darwin Village up once again. Life of the party is going to look to try and take out Gunaholic, but is going to and finally going to be able to take it down. POSTDRAMA with a nice boulder is going to take out Gunaholic, so gonna have to sit back without that Hades, and now they just got 2 tanks right now under tower.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for them, and now none of these pulls landing so far for the Hercules, so POSTDRAMA not able to get them out from under that tower. I think, like you said, this is the point where you start to get worried. The goal gets up to 1,500, now forced under their tower, can barely contest that blue buff. Now, if I'm Summer Knights, on Joust, there's not a whole ton of side camps to go around, not a lot of extra XP on the map, so if I'm them, I kind of want to freeze a wave in mid, keep them under tower, and starve them out of as much XP as I can.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I was saying, is that when you fall behind on Joust, you really feel it, because there's not a lot of other opportunities to farm, let alone that one main lane. So when you're falling, you know, 1, maybe even 2 levels behind, you're really gonna start to feel it in these team fights.
Yeah, definitely will. But luckily, only a 1 level lead for the Hercules, so still not in as bad a place as we might make it out to be. Definitely have an alley back into one. And speaking of alley back in, something I wanted to talk about was the Bull Demon King on the left side of the map. Obviously, it locks up the towers or phoenixes so they can't attack. How long do you think this game is going to go, or what state does it have to be in before teams start looking at that big objective?
It's really one of those things that's going to be hard to look at because there's not a lot of shred on both of these teams. And so it's really going to be, they're going to be looking for a 2-man or even a deicide wipe before they can really want to look at that, especially with both these teams. Didn't draft any confirmed for these big objectives. Looking at this fight though, is fight bring out mid, life party is going to be used for CC away to try and get rid of that fail strike going in onto him, but POSTDRAMA is going to find Gunaholic on the side of Turtleneck, and one more pull is going to pull back AGiantDog, Pluck being in, but he is now completely stationary, is trying to get away, but is still going to be getting poked down by Geo. One more to do it is just super low, and that will be it. POSTDRAMA is going to secure off AGiantDog with the help of the Assassin Mario.
Yeah, and another couple deaths for the Bread Boys, now 5 on the side of Summer Knights. And yeah, now, not a lot of XP on the map. Maybe this is where you start looking to the Bull King. Like you said, not a whole ton of it secure. I think that Hercules boulder is really the only one that comes to mind. Achilles now 2 level down, trying to, for a red buff invade. I mean, he's not going to get it either. They put the red buff on the Ganesha. I don't think that's something I've ever seen before.
Hey, the Ganesha ult slaps, that's all I'm saying. So I actually really hate it because of how much damage the Ganesha ult can actually put out. So if you get them in for a few takes of that, especially with that red buff, I think they'll be feeling it.
I'd also be really interested to see, given Ganesh doesn't need appeal as much in this 3v3, if he does elect for something like a Chronos Pendant, which I know some supports really like to take in order to get some cooldown, get some power online. I wouldn't totally hate it if we saw Ganesh getting some damaging items here, but so far, not gonna happen. Mostly defense. Yeah, mostly defense even for the Hercules too. No one really building hybrid yet. Do you think that's going to change as the game state goes on and we get towards endgame builds?
I definitely think so. I think at some point we're gonna see this Achilles go a little bit more damage. Although there is one item I did actually want to highlight. There's off of AGiantDog, there's an Emperor's armor that was built. So acknowledging that they're playing under tower for the most part, so getting that extra damage on those structures is going to help, especially when you're being out pressured so early on.
Yeah, and definitely a smart move by the AGiantDog himself. They can kind of afford to sit under that tier 1. And I think if I'm on the side of Summer Knights, that makes that Demon King even more valuable. And kind of freeze out the effects from that Emperor armor. Both teams looking for an engage, and they found one.
Yeah, especially Bede's getting going out early off with Geo, and now they're looking to all complete the hovering. Darwin Pillars is going to get dropped, and is going to only bring in Gunaholic into it, but well, they're also getting thrown away, going to find a little bit of damage. One more pull on do it. Life the party is being up, is going to brag in AGiantDog, and is looking for one more heal off him as POSTDRAMA and Assassin Mario are creating havoc in the back. And one more pluck, but HeavyWarcrier is going to find the kill of his own, being able to get the shutdown. POSTDRAMA going and lurking into the waters is going to look for some damage off of Geo. And Geo, all they do is though, blinking into the backline. HeavyWarcrier is going to try and run down Geo. Lots of damage being pulled out, but Assassin Mario has joined looking for it. Tail Strike looking for it. Is going to get the shell, and is actually going to hit Assassin Mario, so it's going to block away that Fatal Strike, keeping Geo alive.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if POSTDRAMA's not on the Ganesha. Ganesha's still there, but the Baron Samedi might not be, dropping low, and Geo's going to finally get taken out by Warcrier. That's exactly the fight you need if you're the Bread Boys. Push that back up into about 1,000 gold deficit. Now, more important than that, levels drawing even with everybody except for a little disparaging with the Hades. Hades sitting at 0-4. Not where you want to be, but still does a really good amount of damage from behind, I think.
Definitely. Hades is really also just trying to get this Warlock staff online too. That's only going to help him later as he gets more and more health and a little bit more tankier as well. So is going to be a little bit easier when he's standing stable while he's ulting, being able to take a little bit more damage than usual without the items.
Yeah, definitely should be. And now more fighting over the red buff. I'm kind of surprised they still are. Hades got out in the Dharmic Pillar, is going to get away though. Pretty quiet fight, all things considered.
Yeah, I think it's one of those light fights. They're not looking to commit anything too big. Dark Pillar's being dropped, but it is a low cooldown ultimate anyways. Finally looking to get a little bit more aggressive. Life of the party is coming in. Lurking into the waters is AGiantDog. Gonna look for a little bit of damage with a little bit of mana regen too. Is gonna just dash away from POSTDRAMA, but POSTDRAMA looking for anything. If he can find a pluck, then that might lead to something, but I think they're really just eyeing this red buff here.
Yeah, and I think they very smartly identified POSTDRAMA as kind of their engage. That Hercules can be so displacing. But now, only the Hercules ult is the one up if I'm in Bread Boys. Looking in a good spot for this fight, but no, still just fighting over the red buff even after it's gone. And here's where Joust games can kind of stall out a little bit, and I think it's going to be just capitalization on mistakes. Whichever team makes a mistake, the other one has to be there in order to get it. You don't get very many opportunities in Joust unless you're way ahead. And for the moment, neither of these teams are.
Definitely. And just looking, this engage that this Herc is now able to do is going to be completely annoying with this this Oncule pickup that he does. So, you know, once he takes that magical damage, that's an AoE silence, and if he's near a ton of them, that's a free silence just off that. So with this grouping, I think he's going to be able to find a whole ton of value out of this item.
Yeah, and definitely, in as small and compact as these team fights are, even a CC as like trivial as a silence might be one you're wanting to beads out. But speaking of beads, only on one member from both teams, and it's going to be the mages. So a lot of CC to be able to land in these team fights. Not just look for the first one. Sobek might want to try to close someone with the tower. Hades dropping low.
Dharmic Pillar is also being dropped as well. Well, a lot of damage being taken by Gunaholic, so he's going to have to ride the back of tower a little bit as these Turtleneck Summer Knights have all the pressure on the road right now and might be looking towards invades, but are going to go towards that Bull Demon pit. Might look to start it up, and it does get started up by Assassin Mario.
And I think they might just be trying to bait here. I think Mario probably would have kept his Dharmic Pillar if they wanted to go for it. In a team where they don't have a ton of burn, it's a really good tool. They're keeping it alive, not wanting to commit yet, especially with 3 ults up for the Soggy Bread Boys. When this Hades gets back here, it's going to be a lot harder to start this team fight if you're POSTDRAMA. Getting Achilles out of there. Nope, just more fighting in the mid lane. They moved off the king.
Yeah, just really turning this mid lane into a little bit of a solo lane for a little bit right there. As Warcry and POSTDRAMA doing a little bit of warrior exchanges. Looking for a nice little heal here off of Gunaholic, going to find a ton of damage as well. And that is go. Excavate is being dropped as well. Beads also being used by Gunaholic to get out, but POSTDRAMA finds it anyways. As another heal coming out from Geo on this Baron, gonna keep his team alive, but pluck coming in off of Assassin Mario to the back of the tower. Gonna take still about, you know, pretty healthy, about half right there, so he is fine. A dash back in the tower though, still looking for anything. A couple shots onto the tower by Geo, but not too keen on the shred as he is playing Baron. So one more done onto the onto a Giant Dog. Really, it's just the name of the sustain, is that they're sustaining a heck, but Fatal Strike is going to come out from Warcry, going to be able to claim Assassin Mario's life, and maybe looking for one more, isn't going to be able to get the execute onto POSTDRAMA, but is going to find a little bit of damage. Will force the retreat, but one more pluck coming in from a Giant Dog, going to have the last laugh on that one, but isn't going to find much else after that. And yeah, force back off of POSTDRAMA, so
Yeah,
a couple of kills, couple of changes.
Not a bad fight back if you're a Soggy Bread Boy fan. Oh, that name just feels weirder to say every time. But I think this is where both drafts kind of fall a little bit. I mean, both of these fights we're seeing the Hades and the Baron, respectively, being targeted out. And then it's just like a boxing match. You're going 12 rounds with all the supports. Not able to find much off the map. Weren't able to take down that tier 1 tower, despite not losing any HP for the most part. Kind of need something like that Hunter or like that Assassin, a lot of physical damage to get these objectives quicker. So if I'm Summer Knights, I'm looking for at least, I think, 2 kills before you go for anything big here.
Yeah, definitely. Warcry getting tons of damage off of Geo right there, so it's going to put him back a little bit. Isn't really able to claim any type of relic or force anything out. Pull coming out from POSTDRAMA, going to find a little bit of damage onto Giant Dog. The big thing about what we're seeing here is that these aren't just short fights with like early picks. These are long, drawn-out fights that you're seeing like 2 to 3 rotations of abilities come out before you even see a kill.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Hades needed to do there. Got out, didn't have to burn a shell. His teams were already down.
Oh, but a big pull coming out by POSTDRAMA. Going to lead to damage because life of the party is also being drawn out, and then forces the Giant Dog looking into the water. But here comes Gunaholic. Big ult coming in, gonna pull up into POSTDRAMA, and now POSTDRAMA is gonna return some of the damage onto Gunaholic and send him back on the blue screen. Looking for a big steal coming out there. Big pluck coming out from a Giant Dog, and that's going to force out Geo into the back, and that's going to blow up. Another big pull-off coming from POSTDRAMA, too, finding 2. Going to give him a little bit of space between them and Assassin Mario, as now POSTDRAMA is in the middle of a 3-man bus, and still being looked at under this T1. It is going to look for that, but another pull coming up from POSTDRAMA is going to pluck a Giant Dog under tower. Really just trying to sustain all he can, doing a good job defending what he can until he gets rejoined back by Assassin Mario under this tower.
Yeah, and really good fight there from the Bread Boys, wrestling back a little bit of control. And really smart engages too, have Hades kind of lag back a bit, and a really nice ultimate took off that Baron beads immediately and a lot of health. Now this is odd, we're just seeing percent pen built by the mages, both of them opting for Ob Shard in that 5th item slot. A little odd they waited this long, and I think on top of that, there is 0 cooldown from either mage. So, not getting their abilities off, and kind of odd, they are the damaging ones, but we do see a Chronos Pendant coming out from the Sobek. Maybe this is going towards more of the hybrid build that we expected.
Yeah, I definitely think that's what we're starting to see. Even the Void Stone on a Giant Dog too, giving a little bit of power there as well, so leaning towards to do a little bit more damage into these fights, getting that on-delay proc early off of POSTDRAMA. So next fight is a little bit less long, but I'm just gonna walk right past them, gonna right onto the tower, and this tower is gonna fall right away. Engage coming out, Life of Prey and Hercules drop. Gunaholic does jump in. Fatal Strike is gonna be good to claim Geo. That's gonna take out this Baron Samedi, and now Fatal Strike going once more is gonna find a 2-man push coming out from POSTDRAMA. And then here comes the boulder on the Gunaholic. That's going to knock out the Hades. And now we've got a 2v2 tank action going on. Oculate proc, one more, going to stun us too. And finds the pull onto Warcry, but isn't good enough to find the push. So we go right to this Phoenix, but dash coming in from the Giant Dog isn't going to find the pluck on the Phoenix, but Assassin Mario is going to answer right back with the knockup. And once again, this is just the battle of sustain. Warcry is going to try and run down Assassin Mario. One more pluck coming out from a Giant Dog is going to put it back. But 2-man pull coming out from POSTDRAMA is going to give Assassin Mario a little bit of room to back. And what a great supportive play coming out from POSTDRAMA, being able to really keep Assassin Mario safe and alive.
Yeah, definitely good peel coming out of the Hercules. I think again now, 2nd fight in the row, we've seen a massive Hades ult off the start. It's exactly what Gunaholic needs to do for his team here. Ended up dying, Still 0 kills, but having a really big impact in this game so far. Maybe that just speaks to how much I don't know Joust, I guess. Don't need any cooldown if you only need to hit one ability. And that Hades ult doing a lot of damage. And I think Geo has been pressured into his life of the party pretty much defensively now in every fight. From the Summer Knights, definitely want to protect the Baron a bit more and try to get someone out of position to really capitalize over that pull and stun. It's a great tool for getting someone out of position.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's what the Soggy Bread Boys have noticed, is what they want to do is just completely collapse on this Baron early and take Geo right out of the fight, because once Geo goes down, that's a lot of their sustain already off the table. So they're free to try and take a run at Assassin Mario or POSTDRAMA all they want. But what the problem right now is POSTDRAMA is just kind of insane. Getting 2-man knockups back-to-back fights. I think that we've seen 4 or 5 of them in the last 2 teams. But speaking of that, one more bullet coming up is going to grab Gunaholic. And here comes the boulder. Garbage Pillar's dropped as well, life for the party. But POSTDRAMA is going to grab Gunaholic. That's going to take out the Hades. And now they're under fire, going right onto this Phoenix. And here comes Assassin Mario looking for one knockup, but isn't going to be able to find it. And it's going to allow AGiantDog to get out. But now, Warcry is now forced to try and do a 1v3 scenario here under this Phoenix, while POSTDRAMA is just really smacking this Phoenix down. Phoenix is going to fall, and now they're going to go full on the engage, completely running down. Push going to come out onto AGiantDog, and they're surrounding him on all fronts, but not a ton of damage to be able to take him down. Getting joined, Geophreigh tons of heals, so it's going to be able to. So there it comes. Sprint is going to be popped. They're going to try one last time to run down the Warcry. It's going to fire. Boulder is going to come, but Boulder is not going to connect. Warcry gets in the path just enough. And push coming out onto AGiantDog, but AGiantDog isn't going to find anything. Fatal Strike is going to come and will claim Assassin Mario, and they might have bitten off a little bit more than they could chew, as Turtleneck Summer Knights is on the retreat now. Feed's getting dropped also as well by Geo. Geo is super low, and one more ought to do it, but big push coming out from POSTDRAMA is going to really get a little bit more from Geo. One more stun to do it, but AGiantDog is going to finally secure off Geo. And lurking in the waters is coming out. They have POSTDRAMA's name on the list, and they are looking to claim it. One more ought to do it. Warcry is going to finally secure it. And Soggy Bread Boys finding a deicide and is going to find a ton of comeback potential. They're looking to drop this tower and maybe even look towards pushing down the Phoenix.
Yeah, and that's an outstanding fight by the Soggy Bread Boys. I got a little worried in that initial one that Hades got CC chained like crazy, wasn't able to get off his ultimate and survive. But luckily, now they have ultimate for the next fight, and Warcrier's ult is down, AGiantDog's ult is down, so Gunaholic need to come up big here, but over to the Demon King. They can lock down this Phoenix. It's going to make it very, very hard for Summer Knights to be aggressive, and they've been the ones pushing the pace all game, so I think we're kind of going to be able to see what Bread Boys can do. As long as they secure that Titan.
Although, but one second back and steal it. Dharmic Pillars might be pretty good.
And he got it.
And he does get it. Dharmic Pillars drops. Secures the Bull Demon. Assassin Mario 21 coming out big for the Summer Knights.
He did not come to the Joust tournament to mess around. Insane Dharmic Pillar. Really good timing, too. I got worried he was just looking at a wall at some point, but turns it around and makes a massive play for his team. Now this might be the last fight for the Bread Boys. Walking into the Phoenix, we're going to be able to walk into the Titan here. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. Phoenix does come up in about 45 seconds maybe. So if I'm Summer Knights, got this red buff, I want to push now before that thing spawns again. Because with not a lot of objective secure and objective burn, they're going to have a tough time getting through that Phoenix with a full 3-stack.
And that's kind of what they're going to keep doing. Is for a second the Summer Knights weren't looking too pretty after they all got decided there, but you know, being able to get that steal off the Bull just kind of breaks everything. And they're running down this Titan trying to do everything, but being engaged on into the back, Warcry and Dharmic Pillars drop is going to try and find some picks. They are all going hard on this Hades, but Gunaholic is dropping the ultimate. Phoenix actually does respawn. So, getting a little bit of leeway there, but Bull Demon still on, is going to fall once again pretty quickly. One more pluck coming out from AGiantDog, and they're surrounded by the Summer Knights. Life of the party is going to pull off of Warcry. Tons of damage is being dealt here, but one more pluck coming out from AGiantDog, going to pull him back into the Phoenix zone. Going to try and drop the heal, trying to find something. And here comes Warcry. few into execute range, but Gunaholic finally gonna drop. Assassin Mario is going to fall, and POSTDRAMA is next on the menu. Looking to force him into the jungle, but Blink is gonna come out from POSTDRAMA, and Fatal Strike is gonna finally secure off POSTDRAMA. Warcry adds another one to his tally. That's 7 for the Achilles now.
And what a fight from the Bread Boys. Going back to the initial engage, that Achilles and Sobek dove that Baron Samedi so hard. He got forced out of that entire fight, and Gunaholic, just staying alive in the backline, now building the Typhon's Fang, has so much sustain, and the Cursed Donk just doesn't matter. It only gets down 50%, that other 50% well enough to keep the Hades alive. Now onto the Phoenix. 15 seconds, it's going to be a close call, but Bread Boys, are they going to go for the end?
I think they're going to want to try. Oh,
Achilles is, I don't know about this call.
I don't know.
Props on them. They're gonna stay safe. But I think that might have been the best opportunity they're gonna get for a decent time here. Luckily, though, have completely evened this up and even took a 2,000 gold lead. Soggy Bread Boys now should have the upper hand.
Yeah, Soggy Bread Boys really being the whole comeback story in this game right now. They've been team fighting well together. They've been able to find the picks. The Fatal Strikes have been, for the most part, been on point for Warcry. So being able to, take out, like getting a lot of these strikes on the POSTDRAMA mainly, which you could argue saying is one of the main problems right now for the Bread Boys. Being able to get him off early on is definitely what's key for them in a lot of these team fights.
Yeah, it definitely should be. And now, little surprising, Summer Knights. They'll push up really far. Both teams do have those fire minions, but that Phoenix from Bread Boys is going to come up sooner, and another massive team fight already starting, but Geo's not in it yet. Maybe a small opening, but no, he's grouped back up with the team now.
Small little bit of poke on both sides, but AGiantDog is able to heal back up once again. POSTDRAMA getting knocked up a little bit, but isn't going to be too bad. AGiantDog a pluck onto Assassin Mario, but isn't going to find anything else after that. It seems to be a lot of light fights. It doesn't really look like they're looking to commit just yet.
Getting low.
I think there we go. Assassin Mario getting poked out a little bit. Darwin Pillars gets dropped, and of course Gunaholic on the retreat. And here comes the boulder coming out, looking for a little bit of damage or life for the party. He is looking to pull one. He is going to pull out AGiantDog. Isn't going to get a whole lot of damage off it though, as in the back, POSTDRAMA was looking to take out that Phoenix, but isn't going to be good enough. AGiantDog secures the kill into the back as Warcry right now, Fatal Strike onto Geo, but isn't going to be enough to seal the deal, and Assassin Mario is in trouble in the back. Finally, is able to dodge out the heal. Aegis coming out, but one more how to do it. Achilles is going to finally knock out Geo.
Oh my
Assassin
god.
Mario is still alive on the chase. He was able to actually kill Gunaholic by the looks of it. And Darwin Pillars is going to get dropped. It's just trying to box out the Sobek, but on the other side of the map, we have Warcry on the Titan, looking to try and just completely finish off this game. Doesn't look like he has the damage or the minions with him. And AGiantDog is still working on Assassin Mario, but finally
I think we gotta acknowledge, Mario just saved the game. That was 100% an end call. It was a 3v1. He's able to kill Gunaholic and stay alive long enough. Achilles not quite able to take that Titan down. And now Summer Knights, I think, are getting further and further behind. POSTDRAMA extends a little bit too far. Not something we've said much this game, but a rare misplay from that Hercules. And I lost him that fight early on, died really quick, and he should be their main engaged tool and a pretty big source of their main DPS. So now if I'm Summer Knights, I gotta kind of take a step back, evaluate what went wrong in that fight, and make sure you fix it, because with the rate these are increasing, the next one could really be the game ender.
Definitely. And I think the biggest thing right now is what I've been seeing in a few fights is POSTDRAMA is actually trying to knock down the objectives and then try and retreat back to the fight. And because he's, going so hard on these objectives, they're pretty much already taking 3v2s at that point, especially if he's just sitting, taking shots at Phoenix and, like being poked for free by Gunaholic. So in that case, this does, but another team fight is breaking out. Darwin Pillars does get dropped, and Gunaholic is being looked at, but is finally able to get the dash out. So he's going to find a little bit of safety in that regard. And A little bit of a retreat on the side of the Summer Knights, but Warcry isn't really ready to say goodbye just yet. One more stun on, but looking at a big ult coming off from Gunaholic, gonna find tons of damage on the post-drama, focusing post-drama on the retreat. And he's gonna be out life for the party, gonna pull in Warcry and grouping up big. One more looking for the heal right there from Geo. To find a little bit, but they're still on the defense as Geo completely getting run down. One great plot coming out from GiantDog will allow Gunaholic to seal the deal. But Assassin Mario looking like next on the menu for this Hades being walked at. And POSTDRAMA trying to join them back. And Dark Killers drops looking for a return kill coming here, but gonna send Gunaholic out super low though, so isn't gonna be able to really engage any further onto trying to get a Phoenix, but we'll also send POSTDRAMA back to base as well.
Yeah, and another good fight from the Bread Boys. They're picking up more and more momentum in this one. If they can get that Phoenix down, that'd be massive too, but have to be careful not to overextend. I think a big difference in that fight, Geo got one of the first offensive Baron ults we saw for a while, and it really disrupted Bread Boys. That Achilles got pulled out of position, they had to stop chasing the Hercules, which let him get back alive. A really good fight from that Baron Samedi, although he ended up falling. Massive value on that fight. Now Demon King being looked at again. This is really dangerous, so yeah, they're gonna drop it pretty wisely, I think.
Yeah, definitely acknowledging that they don't. Their main, yeah, you can say the main secure, the Hercules hold are not up. So if Hercules isn't up and they're not looking at a D side opportunity, I don't think they're going to be wanting to try and 50-50 Bull Demon.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to at this state. Still up only about 3,000 gold, which, I mean, I think seems a little low, but that's a pretty deceiving amount, because they've been really running these team fights for the most part. The Sobek and Achilles really stepping into their own on these engages. Now, yeah, for the first time all game, Summer Knights on the back foot. Even behind, they were pushing the pace a lot, but now just going to be grouping up with that Phoenix. That Phoenix is down for another minute and a half, 2 minutes. So really got to be careful here. Bread Boys can afford to take their time with this engage, and if I'm them, I'm going over to Bull Demon King. No, Phoenix is down, I guess not. But maybe just trying to bait out a fight, make Summer Knights take the first step in this one.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the play, is that you're really just trying to bait out whatever you can. If you can find, if a GiantDog can find a big pull early on to start off this fight, I think that's the first stepping stone. But right on top of that, POSTDRAMA blinking in, and it's gonna get immediately aggressed on. Gunaholic going into the ult like the party is looking to pull. It's gonna find a big pull on all three of them, bringing them deeper into the Titan room. Titan falling half though. Titan's getting a little bit lower, up to 25% now, but super poked out on the side of Soggy Bread Boys. Gunaholic getting super poked up, but they are finally going on to him. He is super low, gonna have to pull on the hard retreat, and they are looking for a big on. Collapse. Geo's still standing strong, but the tanks on the side of Summer Knights are getting a little bit hurt for wear, but still a little bit better than the Bread Boys side.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the call would have just been to stand that Titan. That Titan is so incredibly low, and they were burning it at a really good rate. I mean, props to Geo for pulling them in with an incredible Baron ult. I think that maybe made him a little wary. In my mind, still had enough burn to get it done, but nobody died from the Bread Boys, so they're still going to be at full strength when this Phoenix comes up. And yeah, they're marching over to that Bull Demon King. They just want to lock it down and get it done. Hercules half health. He needs to be careful here. He's backing. They see him on a ward. Oh, I don't know about that. So Sobek doesn't let him back, maybe opening the door to steal. No, Ganesha with the Dharma Killer. If Mario does it again, he has to be MVP.
Yeah. He's really trying to force his way in there, but a little bit late. The feel off of Mario is good enough to keep him just away for them to secure it on the Bread Boys. And with that, they're looking to walk right down into this Titan room. Looking to get a pick on Geo here. That's going to be big. Boulder coming out for POSTDRAMA. Going to find a little bit, but here comes Gunaholic. Gunaholic is going to be taken down, but they're still walking fast forward. Big pull, big pluck onto Geo, and he's finally going to fall on the hands of a GiantDog.
Heck
There
of a game
down
here.
goes Phoenix too, and they're still too strong. They're looking to walk towards this Titan room, try and maybe end the game here, as they are finally gonna completely ignore post-drama, go right on Titan, and Titan going low, Titan will fall, and that is game.
Yeah, the Soggy Bread Boys take game one, and what a comeback. We were talking about how snowbally Joust can be. Down really big to start off with, but finally finding their footing and clawing that one back. A really, really good fight from the Bread Boys. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just everybody coming up massive on that team, and I think the Summer Knights kind of looked a little bit disjointed towards the end, maybe not communicating as much as they should have in those team fights. But unfortunately, with the best of one, they are going to be out of the tournament. Really fun team to watch.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a good display from both teams. Really big, really teeter-tottering for the most part. You had the Summer Knights for a good chunk of that game on the forefront, being able to really push down, and the response was by the Bread Boys wasn't entirely there until they started to get a little bit more online when Warcry was really able to get into these fights to be able to make a difference and find a lot of these big fatal strikes. That was really gonna the tide of when they could really start winning these engages.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm looking at the damage. Big numbers coming out from everyone, really even. And before we do get into a break before our next game, do just want to point out some other results that haven't been casted. The 10 seed Doug beat Socks and Sandals in the round one, and in round two, Pile of Laundry on Gaming Chair has taken out the Honda Civic Hot Wheels. So that is going to do it for game number one while we throw it into a short break. Coming up next, the boy band backup singers against the TI-83 graphing calculators. Everybody make sure you stay tuned.